Yo, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Yo podcast with Martin and Hooter.
What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. We are joined today by the homies, Erik Rivera. You like how I said that? I rolled that R?
I do. Yeah. Most podcast hosts are usually white. They don't roll the R.
Roll the R, yeah. And the homie, Jesus Sepulveda.
Damn.
Thank you guys for coming in. And you know what? I'm just going to start off by saying congratulations to the both of you. You are forever joined in history, right?
Yeah.
Because it was your directorial debut.
Yes, it was.
And it was your first special.
That's right.
And we'll start off with that. You know, there's a lot of shit, a lot of people like try to be all like, we'll sneak it in and shit. No, fuck that. We want people to know that you've got...
We fucking in here.
Where'd you get your start? Did you always know you were going to be a comedian?
What made you start doing comedy?
No.
When did you know?
No,
like, nah,
you've been doing comedy for many. You were 15 when you started doing comedy.
Yeah, dude, 15.
And now you're how old?
I'm like 32.
Okay, so
I'm about to be
17 years
33,
later, you are you 32?
Yeah, I'm about to be 33. That's what I was
Okay,
like, wait
so
a minute.
17 years later, you've got your first comedy special out there, which is a huge fucking accomplishment. Congratulations to you.
Yeah,
and you directed it, dude.
Yeah, man.
You guys are in a whole you guys are the new generation of Latino comedy. And I say that because, there's the history of Chicanos or Latinos in comedy. You can go back to George Lopez, right, and Paul Rodriguez.
Oh, we naming names. That's what we do.
Yeah. No. That's where you go back. You can go back to and those were the OGs in the game, and there was nobody else. There was nobody. When I started doing comedy, they had a top 100 list.
Right.
There was a website that had the top 100 comedians, and they knew from LA to New York and everything in between. Every motherfucker that was brown that was doing comedy, they had to put open micers on that list because there wasn't that many. And then now you've got 100 dudes started comedy yesterday, which is great,
Right.
But you got I remember Latino Night at the Laugh Factory was Chicano comedians. You, Erik, have started the Brownish show,
right?
Which has changed the game tremendously. It's not just Chicanos. There is a whole collage of brown faces in your show, and props to you for doing that and giving a platform to a lot of the different voices. And that's why I said it's a new generation. Before we get into the special, I do want to talk about Brownish.
Yeah.
And why the name Brownish, and what was the goal? Because I've been to your show. It is super, super, like I said, diverse. Because just because you're Latino doesn't mean that you're Mexican or that you're Puerto Rican. Bro, there's a shit ton of Latinos. And I'm saying Latino, I'm not saying Latinx. I don't know if you guys use the term Latinx.
Only when I'm in white rooms. It makes the industry feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So what's your show? I'm like, Latinx show. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And the description of my special has Latinx. I'm like, I didn't write that. I don't know who put that one in.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's a Latinx comedian. I'm like, all right.
That was Erik, bro.
Do you think
that was me. I'm
Latino. I don't know about that.
I'm trying to make it general market. Yeah. General market, baby. That's
Do you consider yourself a Latinx comic?
I'm Latino. I don't know what Latinx is. I don't have time to figure it out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I mean,
there.
I understand the inclusion of it. I do get it. I do think that for me, it's complicated because I speak Spanish, and the language is very gender based. You've got la silla. El sofá, la taza.
Right.
There's no tasex. It's everything has a gender.
Right.
Which then becomes very problematic when you want to label the culture or the people Latinx. In my opinion, which doesn't mean that it's right or wrong.
I just think that I think that all Latinos are starting to be like, yeah, who did that? Because we can tell it wasn't us. Like some angry white ladies started this because it wasn't us. So that's why I think that's the conversation.
But a lot of Latinos do embrace it.
Yeah.
I will.
Do they, or are we forced to? Like, because it feels like they're forcing that word there, and we're
that
like,
I don't
all right,
know.
we got to do it because if we want to be a part of the show, we have to
Yeah, it is
go
getting
to,
pushed
you know?
because if you didn't even put it in your description and it's there, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just like, all right, like, you know. So is it because they're making us say this and everybody's like using that word and we're just kind of like, we want to play the game? So it's like, all right, whatever, it's Latinx, whatever you guys want to do. I want a TV show. Is that what's going on?
I don't know.
Eric got quiet as hell.
know.
Look at Eric. Eric is nervous.
I'm trying not to get
Eric's
canceled.
trying to sell shows
My
right
specialist
here.
Sting up there. Mr. Tough Life. It ended
Look,
today,
Eric,
guys.
Yeah.
No. I mean, no. These are real conversations and real
Yeah.
topics. And again, I've talked to many Latinos that defend it, that really do defend it.
Right.
And to me, I look at it as like, yes, I think that there is change and there is evolution, but then I think that there are things that don't have staying power. And I'll give you an example. When I was taking college classes many years ago, Ebonics was a hot topic. Ebonics was a thing that, no, this is a language and it's fucking staying.
Wow.
Ebonics is, I don't see Ebonics no more. I don't see any
Ebonics
Ebonics.
was the most racist thing I've ever heard in my life.
But
Yo,
again,
racist.
that was taught in colleges, and people were, if you don't embrace it, you're a fucking racist.
But they were trying to force that as a language.
Whether they were trying to force it or not, doesn't. So I compare Latinx to Ebonics,
Got
where
you.
there are some things that do have that staying power, that it's not going to go anywhere, but some things do not have the staying power. I don't know that Latinx has the teeth to stick it out for the long run. Now, 20 years from now, if it's still around, I'll stand corrected and I'll say, hey,
Right.
I was wrong.
my bad, y'all.
Yeah,
Eric
bad.
was right.
Eric was right. Yeah,
Are we going to do an apology video right now,
You
just
know?
in case?
yeah, just in case.
You know?
We'd edit with-
So yeah, but that's the thing where I've seen other things that did not stick.
Right.
yeah, I see. That's what you're saying.
But with that said, let's go back to Brownish is how this started.
Yeah.
So now you named, and your show, congratulations on your show. You started at the Hollywood Laugh Factory,
Right,
correct?
Hollywood Live Factory.
Now you're in Long Beach.
Long Beach.
You've been to San Diego.
San Diego, New York.
Oh, you took it to New York.
Took it
as
to
well.
New York, and we just got accepted into the New York Comedy Festival in November.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
That's big. That's
Yeah.
huge.
It was one of those things where, we've noticed that the lack of the OGs opening those doors for us. So I took it upon myself. Like, we got to create this platform and trying to get all the different voices that are out there, because who else is doing it for us? You look at other communities, like the black community. I found it very eye-opening when you watch the Emmys, right? And Quinta Brunson wins for Abbott Elementary, and the first person he thanks is, I want to thank Larry Wilmore for showing me how to run a show. Who's our Larry Wilmore? Who's doing this for us?
Right.
Like on that side of stuff. There's no one there. So we got to
Great.
start.
That's a great question.
We got to start doing that for our own community. So that's why I started doing it, which stinks because now I got these young comics like, I respect. I'm like, don't make me feel old. Don't make me feel old.
Doing this for us, man.
Now, you've got on your show, there's Mexicans, there's Puerto Ricans, there's Dominicans,
Venezuelans. I try to get everybody.
Venezuelans,
Colombians.
Yeah.
Afro,
Latina.
Afro-Latino,
Yeah.
which is Afro-Latino is a term that is, to me anyway, relatively new. And maybe I'm ignorant and I just wasn't exposed to it prior, but Afro-Latino is a term that has now crossed over in a huge way,
Right.
and which is fantastic. Now, not to hate on the Afro-Latino platform, because I think it's huge, when I see shows that are fuck it, I'll say it. What was the show? Gentified? Gentified.
Yeah.
Okay. We
When
naming
you've
names.
got, yes, I am. Yes,
what's
I am,
up.
because I think
Keep
it's
it real.
important.
I like this.
No,
I like this.
I think it's
Yeah.
important.
Eric's about to crawl under the goddamn
He's just like,
table.
no, look at
okay.
the publicist like,
You've got Gentified, where I'm like, hey man, it's a brown show. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna turn it on, and I'm gonna watch it. And now you've got Nana saying, hey, gay people, let's go. And you've got Afro Latinos in East LA. I don't know how many Afro Latinos were in East LA. I don't know how many of them were in Boyle Heights. I didn't grow up in Boyle Heights. I didn't live in Boyle Heights, but I don't know what. Now, if you go to New York and you go to Miami and you go to the East Coast, there's a shit ton of Afro Latinos. And that's I think that when you start like, now you've got, a lot of shows just for the sake of having, we need a gay character, we need a black character, we need a this, we need a this, we need a that. I think like, hey man, how about we keep it to where
authentic.
I'm cool with representation. Representation is absolutely necessary.
I see what
but
you're
when
saying.
you're forcing that representation for the sake of having it there, I think it compromises the product. In my humble
No,
opinion.
I see what you're saying. Even when I watch these shows, you can tell when you can see that they're forcing this thing, and it's like, oh, you guys are making all of
Trying to check every box.
Yeah, you're trying to do all of these in one show, and it's like I see what you're doing, but you're taking the authenticity of
the authenticity of it away.
That you're taking that away, and it's like you're not making this believable for me. You're just like, oh yeah, that's not really how it is. And us that we're not dumb, Latinos that are watching this, we're looking at this like, we know what you're doing. It's cute, but white people are like, this is great. This is everything that we need, and it's like
we talk
cool.
about the Doritos commercials where you've got the Dia de los Muertos, right? Where the lady goes to the cemetery with her kids, and the lady's like Coco. She's old. She's a 90-year-old lady, and they're visiting her dead brother. And this guy with the white mustache comes back from the dead, and then Alberto, and then Alberto says he's got his hat. And he says, oh, ¿cuánto les quiero presentar a, and he's got his boyfriend there. And she's like, oh, and the lady's shocked, right? But then she says, qué bueno.
Yeah, right.
I thought you were going to spend eternity by yourself. Like, look, first of all, all
right,
let the little kids be all freaking about it, but don't make the 90. Dude, my mom was 90 with Alzheimer's, and I said, hey, the Pope said the gays can get married. So, oh, cállate, pendejo. She was pissed.
I don't care how many Doritos you gave that lady. She would have been down with the gay
No
people.
way.
What if they were Cool Ranch? What if they were Cool Ranch?
Hey,
You don't know Hooter?
Then that's a different. Yeah, that's a
So
different commercial.
that's like a huevo,
I saw a show recently, and it was that exact thing where it's like there's this scene, and one of the relatives comes out, and you're right, the authenticity of it isn't there because like everyone was cool with it, and I'm like, that's beautiful, but like I know even in my family, like if somebody comes out, yo, I'm gay, there's gonna be an uncle that has a problem, like whoa, hold on, and that's a conversation, and then you can have that conversation, and it's an authentic conversation. You don't have to make it an ignorant conversation.
No.
But like when everyone's just yay, you're like, come on, whose family is this?
Man.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know
I did
any.
digress a little bit. So back to brownish. Now, when you've got no. Well,
I check all the boxes.
I said all that. I said all that to say
Martin
that.
Rat.
I said all that when you have a television show based on a certain demographic and you're forcing these things, it's one thing. But when it's a problem. But when it's a comedy show on a stage, giving a platform to all this inclusivity, I applaud that.
Right.
That I'm on board with 100%. So props to you for doing that.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was again trying to create that platform and also give us an opportunity to all hang. Like, how many shows do you do and you're the only Latino on the show?
Right.
Like, I'll do, if I go somewhere, it was always an ongoing joke with other comics. Like, oh, I got booked at Comedy Magic, so I guess I'm not gonna see nobody there. This guy got booked at the Improv, guess I'm not getting spots there. So it's cool to see us all coming together, talking, and now you're starting to see people starting to work together and pump each other up and doing stuff. Like, I know comics who've like gotten together and started writing together, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Look at you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
And the one thing that, like, the people that know you and hang out with you, what they constantly say about you is, Erik is great at getting people together and coexisting with a bunch of different people that would typically not be there. I've heard, I'll give you an example, Gina Brion. Gina Brion said that about you before, where she was like giving you big props on the way that you are able to bring people together. Like, she goes, I don't think there's anybody better at it, which I think is a high compliment to you and what you're doing with your show and what you're doing outside of that show.
Right.
Which then leads me to your relationship with HBO. Now, you started your relationship with HBO a few years ago.
A few years ago, we did the Entre Nos series, and then right after that, they offered me a half-hour special, and I was just over the moon. I was like, all right, let's do it. And then after that, it was so funny. I get a phone call from one of the producers, and they're like, would you be interested in like directing? you know, it was Edwin Licona. I'm gonna give him his props
Sure.
because he's one of those guys who's trying to better the community. He's trying to give us all the tools so that we can again have a longer career. And he was like, you should look at getting behind the camera and doing this. He's like, you're a comic. You know how to work with comics. It might be a nice thing to do. So I started shadowing directors. I did a couple Entreno series. Shadowed and a half-hour special, and then he's like, who out there do you think is ready for that half-hour special? Who would you like to direct? And I was like, Sepulveda. This dude, every time I see him, is destroying crowds. I'm like, is he on the list? He was like, yup, let's do it.
Now, had you guys worked together before, not just in shows, but like on projects or just a relationship?
One time we did with a little tour. We started before the
but
pandemic.
But that was shows. Like
yeah. But I think that's the first time you actually see me on stage, like, doing my thing. So
Crush.
No, but we were like, we actually got to
Level
see
the fucking room, dog.
Man, I was nervous. These guys are all like pros, got their half-hour specials, and I'm over here just like, damn, dude, I gotta like follow all that. So I had to like, I got to bring it. You have those moments where you're like, this isn't the time to like play. You gotta really bring it. So, and then I got that call during like the pandemic. I got the phone call saying like, hey, we want to offer you the half hour. I was like, yo, that's dope. But then at the same time, it was during the pandemic. So I'm like, how is it going to go down? Am I going to have a crowd? So that was tricky in itself. And then he told me that Erik was going to direct it. And I was like, yo, for sure. I got on a phone call with him, and we just saw eye to eye. And there was a lot of things that I was going to do, but thank God he was there, because he was like, no. Because like I had a therapy bit that I was just doing just to fill time when I was doing an open mic, just to work on material. And then he's like, and I was like, no, that don't mean anything. No, there's something there. Bring that back. Dissect that. Open that up. We're going to make that into
Can I tell you that was my favorite bit?
Really? Thanks, man.
That was my favorite bit in the special. Like, I'm like, okay,
You saw the other stuff. Yeah.
I saw your special.
Yeah.
A lot of the content, what, as Latinos, we're going to have a lot of the same experiences. We're going to have a lot of this. To touch on therapy the way that you touched on therapy, and then you used that as a callback with one of your earlier. It was fantastically done, and I'll give you so props to you for seeing that joke in a bigger way than you saw it, which is because that was.
So if Erik wouldn't have said anything, it wouldn't
have been. No, for reals, it wouldn't have.
That was probably my favorite part of the whole set.
He had, for me, a special has to have a through line. There's a story. So when I'm watching him, he's got jokes that are killing, and for him it was just a collection of jokes. And then he started doing that therapy bit, just a throw. I was like, hold up, hold on, there's something there. This is what's gonna make you stand out. Like you said, we all have those similar experiences. Like we all have the dad who yells, the mom who's a little crazy, but then we got to find that one little thing that
sets you apart.
So when he started talking about the therapy, and then just like, there's nothing there. And then also, he was doing rooms where like sometimes you don't have the opportunity to breathe and talk about therapy. Like they're just like, what's this shit? Like, do the stuff about your dad. And you're like, I was like, no, sit in that pocket. It's gonna get uncomfortable, but let's start opening that up.
Bro, I'm talking about like, I opened it from
more
nothing.
uncomfortable than therapy, bro.
Yo, real talk, because for real, dude. We were like, when I was bringing that joke up, it was like, I had nothing. I just had the idea of like, I go back to my dad, I apologize. And he's like, no, I'll open it up. So I had to build from that. It was like creating that bit while the timeline is still on some like, yo, we're filming this next month. Is it done? And I would, it's done. It was not done. It was like halfway still. Yeah. But then like, I had to like really, what he made me think about is like, yo, really sit down. What does this mean to you? What is this? Where is this coming from? And I had to sit down. I really need to think about it. And I was like, yo,
I love that word.
Let's really figure out where this is coming from. What does this mean to me? And because this really happened. So I stopped trying to make it funny. Let's just go to what really happened. And let's build the funniness around that. And that's what it was. And then I think like 2 weeks before the shooting, I figured out the ending. And I was like, oh, I figured it out. I found the end of the tag back. And I'm like, oh. And we go back to the therapist, and her dad argues with her. So that was crazy that he pulled that out of me. I didn't know I had that in me. So I'm like, yo, I'm starting to look at my jokes differently now.
I think as a comic, bro, I think that's a huge evolution. When I saw that, I thought, fuck, dude. Yeah. When you see something and you're like, God damn it, that was it. Fucking like he hit it. He hit that thing that nobody else has. And so the special's called Mr. Tough
Life.
Tough Life.
Yeah.
And what fucking brown person can't res.
Right,
who does that
yeah.
not res? Like, oh, sí, cabrón,
Yeah.
yeah, so right.
And that's what it is. It's more of the sarcastic voice of my dad saying, "Ay, tough life, cálmate," because Latinos, when you tell them something tough, they have a tougher story. Then they're gonna outshine you with a sad story.
Look,
Like,
let Hooter try to tell you how crazy his dad was.
yeah.
You know my dad, motherfucker.
That's exactly it. I try to complain to my dad about like, oh, I'm having a tough time. Like, tough time. When I crossed and I only had $10, I'm like, here we go. But what about me, dude? Like, I'm having a tough time in Hollywood. In Hollywood. Look at just the word Hollywood.
What we do is like, oh, you know, I had a tough set. Oh,
a tough set. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you had a tough set.
You know, it's about to happen. You're like, I shouldn't have said nothing.
So that's to me that line to me was like very special because I was like, that's exactly all I've heard. When I try to complain, he would not let me. He was like, what are you sad about? Like what? Yeah. I'm trying to depressed because you have too much time off. Get a job. That's gonna take away from your depression. Get 3 jobs. Distract your mind. I'm like, damn, dude.
What was he like at the taping?
He was
hilarious. I hung out with this dude.
No, my dad is wild.
First of all,
had you met him before that, Eric?
I met him like in passing, but never really spent time with him.
Yo, he's wild.
Did he try to sit in the director's chair?
No,
dude, my dad.
Hold on,
man, let me tell you.
It gets good. So,
yeah.
So we're taping on maybe like a Thursday.
Oh, yeah, it's going.
And Jesus is flying out there on the weekend, and I was like, all right, cool. Go do some spots in New York, and I'm gonna get there Monday. So in my head, look, I know Jesus has never been he's never been in New York, so I know in his head he's already mounted all this pressure. You know, when like comics go to New York, like New York is. It's New York and LA
for sure.
That's it. Like if you're not in one of those 2 markets doing stand up, it's like what are you even doing? Like you got to go there. So I knew he's already putting this pressure on himself, and I know that first set is not gonna be good.
Not gonna be good at all.
I was like, he's gonna bomb. No. So I'm like, go. He getting there Saturday. Like go do the set, get it out of the way. Then when I show up, we can start working and get you there.
Martin, check this out. Check this out that these guys did to me, dude. Latino dude from doing shows out here in LA on spoiled Latino Mexican crowds.
Sure.
In New York. I went to New York. There was no Mexican people in the audience. My mom and dad are there. My girl's there with me. I had the whole crew with me, and then they got cameras. I was like, "Oh, we're ready to go. We're gonna follow you around."
Hold on,
and I'm already on some like
his show gets canceled during the weekend.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I get there Monday. I was like, "How'd the show go?" It got canceled. So the first show's tonight, and I was like, I'm gonna have to watch this bomb. But I got, as a director, I gotta be supportive. I'm like, man, it's gonna be all right.
Dude,
gonna be all right.
I get to the comedy club that he got me on. I'm in the back. All the comics are like wondering why is there cameras. Comics like, it was the cameras for. It's like, he's going about to film. It's a half hour.
You see the stress because New York is not big stages. They're like these little stages, low roofs. So he's already like, wait, I can't move on that stage.
I was like,
bro,
I'm about to do my whole act.
You're gonna have to figure that out on that little stage.
Dude, I was there
he's
nervous.
Sweating, he's pacing. I'm like, all right, man, just relax, dude. It's gonna be all right. Let's just do the set. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah, so I was like nervous.
He gets up
dude.
there. All of a sudden, like Jesus tries to do a New York accent up there.
Right, cause yeah.
I'm watching him going like, what?
I start the first line was, "Yo, New York is crazy, right?" And it's like, no, dude, I'm forcing. They can tell that I'm forcing.
Hey,
trying to be a New
about
Yorker
it.
right now. Yeah.
Yankees pizza. I was like,
That's like being over here. Hey, LA traffic's wild, huh?
Dude, it was. I was like. You get to the crowd was just like, what? And I'm just like and I'm like, fuck it, just go to my bed. I'm doing cumbia. I'm sweating. And then I'm not going nowhere. It's a small state. I'm just in a circle. Right? The cumbia. I'm dripping.
I know it's not good when the camera crew turns off the lights and they just put the cameras down the lights.
Yeah, that's when you know it wasn't good. They were just like,
it.
nah, we're not going to get it. And then my dad's kind of looking at me like, ¿qué está pasando? And when we're done, he's like talking to me going, hey, are you sure you're going to record your special?
Yeah.
Porque está cabrón, mijo. Don't embarrass me, mijo. They pay for the hotel. They're going to make me charge and pay.
His dad
like,
comes up to me and the producers and he starts trying to talk us out of doing the special.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think
like,
he's ready.
Maybe we take another month. Maybe. And maybe in Tucson, where he's from, we might do better. You never know. And then they were like, no, it's fine. Give your son a chance. It's like, and then he yelled at me in the hotel room. Amigo, ponte las pilas. ¿Qué traes? ¿Vienes a trabajar o hacerte pendejo? And I'm like, dude, not right now, bro. Like, he's trying to get in my head. So I'm like, fuck. This
It was a
guy.
setup from Eric, bro.
No,
it
yeah,
was a
dude.
director's touch. It
I was like-
he knew.
No, but
he
after the
needed
third
that.
day, I knew what I was doing. I knew what I know what was going on. I was like, I'm trying to cater to this audience. Like, just tell the jokes, you know.
just do the.
But you know
Tell
what's
the
fucking
bit, you know?
awesome that you realize that because a lot of people, it's this something happens. There's motherfuckers that can smash,
Yeah.
but the minute you put a camera in the
Oh,
mug,
yeah. So, yeah.
it becomes a different animal. And there's some
True.
people that turn it on. It's like the playoffs for sports.
That's right.
You know, like remember Manny Wood? You know, when the lights were shining, Manny was smashing it. He knew this is time to turn it on. You know, there's motherfuckers that could turn it on, and then there's people that just they begin to perform. They begin to perform for that camera instead of just doing the set that they've been doing for. And then, don't get me wrong, the performance is important because you're going to people's living rooms. You know, there's some comics that'll be like, I tune out the crowd and I'm talking to the motherfucker on the
Yeah,
couch.
you can tell.
You know,
You
so
can-
there's
yeah,
there's
you can
different
tell.
there's different ways to approach it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you knew, hey, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
And you had that moment of clarity.
Yeah.
That's that's experience.
That's what I was gonna. That's the experience. That's the little small gigs, the gigs where there's only 3 people in the crowd, and I gotta learn how to just ignore that and do a show for them. The being at a backyard and fight against traffic people who are like walking around. All these weird gigs that I've done that I was so weird were for this moment right here to be like, oh, adapt, get yourself out of your head and adapt to this moment right now that you're in. You know what to do. You know how to say your jokes. Don't try to force. Just tell your jokes, and that's what it was. So
when you saw the special and it was finished and it's out, what did you what was your like feel like? Where you're like, fuck yeah, I nailed it.
yeah, no, it was the beginning. You know, as a comic, I'm always looking at like, oh, the little things I didn't see. But then at the end was where you saw a video. I don't know if you guys got to see the end. The end credits, you see a video when I was 14 in my dad's living room when no one was around. Everybody would leave and they would go to the store and I was left by myself and I'll turn on the camera and practice stand-up.
I saw
was
that,
14
dude.
years old. And those are tapes that I just knew I wanted to do it. I wanted to see what I looked like on video. So I was trying to like find my place. It was like, that's what that was for me. I was like, man, you know what? Like, fuck all that. Like, I'm looking at 14-year-old me going like, yeah, that's right. Like, we went from the living room to there. That's what that was for me, you know? So that's why that at the end, that's when I was like, oh shit, that was dope. Like that was real cool. Like we got that far, you know. So and then you got to see all these little sets that I was doing, and yeah, that was cool, you know.
How many times did you get emotional?
I didn't, but
At all? Not once?
no, I just with me it's like I ignore that part of me that's just like come on, let's go.
You
Next.
need to keep going to therapy.
I was just gonna say that.
I start thinking about like, I start thinking about things that I don't have yet, and I'm like, fool, how can you? We don't even have this yet. We don't have that yet. Come on, dog. We're not done. Let's keep it
But
going.
there is something to be
So-
said about enjoying the moment.
Yeah, I have a
and
problem with that. I need to learn how to enjoy the moment.
Enjoy the moment, savor it, because
Yeah.
it's a huge freaking accomplishment, Jesus. It's a
Yeah,
big.
thanks.
You're on fucking HBO, homie,
Yeah, no, dude. That
and
that
it's
does feel
funny.
good, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of motherfuckers on HBO that you're like, okay,
No, that's
You
true. You know what? I think the only moment that I actually was like almost like getting real emotional was when I was at home. I went back home, and I was changing. We're gonna go out to eat, and then we always have HBO. You know, my brother's always watching something on HBO, and I was on the Just Added, and that's when I was like, damn. That was just for me. No one was around. I was just like, damn. I guess that's when I really like a lot of things come out when I'm by myself. You know, when it's just me and I'm just kind of like, damn.
When you're not
all
around
right.
your dad.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or my family, nobody. Like I just, yeah, it was just you just start thinking about all the things that you've done to get here. I started thinking about the trip when I was 19. I left home to come do this. Like I was 19. I thought I was so ballsy, thinking like, that's all. Man, I have like $1,000 in my pocket. That's all I need. It's like, what? I ran through that fucking $1,000 like in a week. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't give up. Like I knew that if I can't do this, I can't do anything. And this is what I really wanted to do, and to be here. And I'm just like, I never gave up. It was like, oof, because there's been years where I was just like, fuck this. I'm gonna go back home. I'm broke. What am I doing? I can barely do spots. You know what I mean? But people don't want to give me any spots and shit. And I complain to my dad like, hey, like, you know, I'm trying to go on the improv. They don't put me on the improv. And then he will just keep complaining. He's like, hey, no, they said like, Hanna, keep going, show up. And I'm like, what the fuck you want from me? Like, I can't. I keep trying. But then he reminds me of his struggles. And he's like, fool, I fucking came here not knowing English. And I forced myself to get a job. I forced myself to do this. Like, this is life. This is what it is.
Do you feel that because of that sacrifice, it makes you work that much fucking harder?
For
shit,
sure.
like I'm a fucking pussy if I don't do this.
For sure. Oh, bro, you know what, dude? Every time I go on stage, and when there's a show that it means something, I always think about them. Because I'm like, fuck, this is bigger than me. Like, when I was on the stage in New York, I was like, this is bigger than me. This is like my whole family. This is everybody, all my uncles, my family that, like, I'm putting our last name out there. Like, this is bigger than me. This is like, my dad sacrificed everything for us to be here. For me not to take advantage of this, fuck that. We're going to go in. I'm going to do everything I can to, like, kill, you know? So, yeah.
We tend to take on a lot of that as a responsibility. Like we you know, these motherfuckers did this, they did this, so I owe it. Anything short of success is a failure, you know.
I think so too.
But again, you know, take some time to just sit there and say, fuck, pat yourself on the back. And you know, you can't be like, it's not over. You know, you're definitely going to do more things. But do enjoy it, brother, because it's a big accomplishment, man.
No, yeah, thanks, man.
And again, it was a funny special. I saw the special. It was funny, you know. And again, the therapy bit, you're treading into places that, you know, are not just are they, you know, necessary for other raza to see.
Right.
Hey, man. It's okay to get this therapy. It's okay to say, hey, there's something fucked up here, you know, because it's so taboo. Dude, mental health is taboo for a lot of raza, for a lot of Latinos, for a long time.
Especially men.
And
especially
we
men.
It.
They look at it as a sign of weakness, you know?
And we see it. We see it in our uncles. We see it in their faces. We see how they're reacting, like, even like how they treat my, you know, aunts, and I'm just kind of like, damn, this is pretty toxic right here. This is pretty fucking toxic. Right? Gordo, ¿qué te dije? Dale pues. I'm like, whoa, that was very aggressive. Yo,
there's the Latinx coming out of you.
That was very
Woke
aggressive.
Sepulveda.
So now I'm starting to be more like, you know, I'm hyping up my tias. You know, we don't have to take this. We do not. We are joining that march tomorrow, and we will fight for our.
I've got these pussy hats. Put these on.
I
don't
try,
let
dude,
him talk to you like that.
I try hyping up my mom. Like, my mom's like, ay, no me hagan hacer tortillas, pero ay, tu papá. And I'm like, no los hagas. You're telling them. And my dad's like, hey, túmbate, Roy. Get the hell out of here. My mom, shh, vete, mijo. And I'm just like, what's going on?
Oh, bro, you're crazy, bro.
Yeah.
What are you going to be, the Harriet Tubman?
Yeah, dude, for real.
You fucking crazy?
You have no idea. I opened the door in the back. I'm like, just run, Mom. Just run. Run. My dad grabbed me. Run. Go and spank me in the room. Yeah, but that special made me open up a lot of more, like, I'm writing differently now. I'm going deeper. I'm not just like going for the quick laugh. And I realized like what my potentials are. Like, he opened that up. He said, you have more to say. And that's what I got from the special. I was like, oh, I got something to say, and I'm going to dig deep, you know, go bigger with the jokes, go more meaningful, you know.
Once the material was out there, did you retire the material?
Yeah, it's gone.
Like,
if you go to my shows, every show that I've been doing, you're not going to hear any of that. It's gone. That's it. I'm forcing my mind to open up and start, you know, the new material, opening up like a new, you know, that was the younger me. And I think now it's like I'm looking at life differently, you know, and I need to start talking about, you know, the way I'm seeing things. Like, I'm seeing my dad getting older, my mom, and like, I feel like I'm starting to, like, you know, be at that next level where I'm helping them out, you know, with certain things. And like, I'm just seeing certain things that my dad used to do, and I'm just like, why? Like, I defend myself now. Before I would just hear everything he said, and I'm like, all right. Now I'm like, no, what the fuck is wrong with you? And so I'm trying to, like, so there's a lot that I'm gonna be saying in the new special for sure that I'm working on. So
that's freaking. Now, as far as
you met my dad, do you? By the way, I apologize. I even told my dad, what is wrong? Why leave them alone?
No.
Like, there was a Fluffy came out. He went to go see him. I'm like, you got good seats, everything. You know what messed that up for him was the drinking. The thing is, when you give Latinos drinks, they start. I know, Martin. I'm like, here we go. Like, my brother's like, yo,
I met your dad. I met your dad at the Ice House for the first time.
Yes,
we did
yes,
the Spanish
yes.
show,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, this. Do you know who have you met him?
I met him once, yeah.
You know,
but it was in passing. Like it wasn't.
He reminds me of Sergio's dad.
Oh, okay.
To get that. But
And he's from Sonora.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Sonora,
So
yeah.
there you go. Very
He's
very
got that
similar.
Sonora,
Very
yeah.
similar personality. Very, like right here. Like, hey, there ain't no bullshit in him, which I respect. You know.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk to you, Eric, a little bit about making that transition, because you're a comic. You're still a comic, but putting on that director's hat.
Right.
You know, and directing another person's, basically their future, their
career,
their
dude.
career. They're putting their shit on the line, and to an extent, you're taking that responsibility on yourself for the first time. That I want to know what was going on in your head, and props to Edwin for seeing, hey man, this dude has the tools to do this. Let's go, let's go. And comics, directing comics, that's, who knows that better than comics.
That's
right?
what I thought, yeah.
And so there should actually be more of that, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
But again, what the hell is going on through your head when you know that this dude, the biggest show of this man's career and pretty much life, to be honest, is in your goddamn hands.
Wow.
That's true. That's true.
No, there was a lot of pressure, and I will say it could have gone sideways if he doesn't trust me at all. Like, when I sat down with him in the beginning, it was like, all right, what's the special? And he starts giving me the jokes. And then I end on the soccer bit and the cumbia bit, and I was like, nah, man, we're gonna, because I had seen the therapy bit. I was like, you're ending on the therapy bit. And to see him, at that point, he could have been like, screw you, I'm out. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like,
This shit's tried and true. You fuck.
yeah, like this. He's
Cumbia,
killed.
homie.
Yeah.
You know who the hell I am, dude? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. So
Go to Steven's Steakhouse and see what they tell you. God damn it! Yeah,
You'll see cumbia on the
right through the
rafters
wall,
at
dude.
fucking Steven's Steakhouse,
that's
bro.
like,
T-shirts with
watch
that
your
on
mouth,
it.
dude. Don't you walk into iguanas with that attitude?
But
You know what's up.
when you've been doing it for as long as we have, like, what it is. That first special, if no one's there to guide you, it's just a collection of jokes. Like, I remember my first special, like, no, I didn't even meet the director till the day of. Like, there was no guidance, and I did it. I look back at the special, I'm like, this is terrible. This is.
I don't think it was terrible. I thought it was funny.
Thank you, I appreciate it. But like, I'm my you're your harshest critic. Like, when you look
Sure,
at old
for
jokes
sure.
of yourself, you're like,
I can't.
it's
stand
terrible.
to look
Yeah.
at my shit.
But so when the opportunity came up, I was like, I want to make sure that, number one, I'm helping him. I'm setting him up to win. Like, what's the story? Because I'm also looking at it from the industry point of view. Because again, we don't have this guidance to go, Jesus, we're gonna do this special. Here's the story, and when you watch it, you go, that's the show. Like, if that's what you want, like, if you want a sitcom, like, you can't not watch that special and go, oh, there's no show there. You watch and you go, oh, I see the characters. I see the dad. I see the therapy. I see the girlfriend. I see the mom. Like, I'm just trying to help them, setting them up for that next step, that next level. Because a lot of times we don't have that, we do the special and then like, now what? And it's like, that's it. Go back to, doing Ontario Improv and 20 people in there. And you're like, all right.
That's what, I am thinking back to Bernie Mac when he did his special. And he had the little kid with the milk and cookie, and then he got the sitcom after that. But he painted a picture. He painted a great picture of the dude that took over these kids from their fucked up parents, and he showed you that, and he made it hysterical. So there was that blueprint that he had a blueprint that said, "This is the show that I see."
Right.
When you're saying, you saw, hey, here's a freaking blueprint. I see the dad. I see the girlfriend. I see the therapist. I see this life, which, that's a good freaking director.
And by the way, you can, and he'll vouch for this. Like, I still call him every day. Like, are you writing pages?
Yeah.
Are you writing out a pitch?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, get on it. Like, I'm still bothering him every day because I'm like, we have to hold ourselves accountable to get to the next level.
Nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah, no, he definitely, like I said, like he's showing me like a different side of like what I can do, and then like like it's weird. When we first started, we didn't really get that. I mean, luckily you had your dad that could kind of guide you and tell you like, don't hang out with that guy. Please, I didn't get that. I hung out with that guy, and that got me nowhere.
He hangs out with those guys. He does. Hooter,
Yeah,
this dude does every show, and I'm like, stop doing every
yeah,
show,
dude. Trust me, I
Please.
didn't get the age. Let them go.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, and I didn't get that. So with him, he's definitely the guy that's like, I'm like, man, I wish I would have had that in the beginning. You know, I wish we could have like had more of a guidance to be like, oh, write this, or I'm like, because I'm starting to see the world of comedy differently. Like I'm starting to see like, oh man, I had it all wrong. Well, you're just trying to kill. It's like it's more than that. You can do more.
The fact that you say you went to New York and you'd never been to New York, you're used to just nothing but Mexicans. I mean,
that's
bro,
right.
I mean, I went from Monday night at the Laugh Factory to Virginia Beach, where it's like they're looking at me like,
crazy.
what the fuck are you talking? I'm talking about
crazy.
hood rats and hoochies, and it's
Yeah,
like they're looking at me
crazy.
like I got 5 heads.
They just came from church. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like,
And
it's wild.
you've got dudes going to Japan talking about King Taco. Like
Good
Tacos
luck.
Mexico, like, and you're just like, you hear these stories of these dudes because all they know is how to smash
Man,
in a
dude.
fucking Mexican room.
Can I
you get that in New York too, where like dudes got 6 train jokes, and you go
Same
to
thing.
Upper East Side, and you're like,
Sure.
dude, once you get to like Ohio, Virginia Beach,
They
don't
don't
know
know.
what you're saying.
Yep.
They don't get it.
I want to say that I want to say something that I caught because I got to go to the Fluffy special right in the stadium, and I saw you guys. Not only was I excited for him, but like, bro, you guys, and like you and the whole team. I looked at it like that as the team. I was like, yo, the team made it. The whole team, like Fluffy and you guys were all like so close. You guys came from like the bottom, and all these cities you guys were naming, all the spots that that I've done that you guys. I was like, I know what it must have felt like for you to stand right there in front of all those people.
Hey, it was
I'm like,
surreal.
God, that was to me was
surreal.
like, I was talking about trying to get emotional. I was like, man, I was getting so emotional. I was like, damn, dude, like I saw
You got emotional for him, but not yourself.
because
what is happening?
because I saw I saw the biggest you can get as a comedian, and I saw that. I saw him experience that for himself, and I was like, me going in the trenches, and I'm doing these little shows, and like this is so like for me, it feels like it's been forever just to even get this half hour. For him to be there, he's got a fucking like a Goodyear blimp with his face on it, and then you're over there opening up for your boys. Like, damn, how many times have you opened up for your boy at these like small clubs, and now you opened up for his stadium gig? Like, damn, and it was you that had to do it. That's dope, dog. Like, you're the Martin. You're the Martin. You know what I mean?
When they first started talking about Dodger Stadium, it didn't even cross my mind that I was going to be in that show because it's such a big stage that you start thinking of all the different big names that you could draw. You're in Los Angeles, for crying out loud. You've got major comedy superstars here that he could have easily said, come be on this show. So but when he said you're gonna be there, I was like, I was grateful for the opportunity and for being on there, but at no moment in time was it an expectation. Never. And, it was like like, dude, it was beyond anything that, I don't care what stage I'd ever been on, how big the magnitude of fucking 40, 50, 100,000 people were there.
Yeah.
To just see that was like, I got tongue-tied a couple of times. Like, nothing can prepare you for that.
I remember looking around and I was like, dude, this is like a fucking Dodger playoff game right now for a comic, bro.
Yeah, dude. That was insane. You know what was insane? Because I was on a lower level. Thank you for the tickets. No, but I was on the lower level, and I was like, cool. And then I do this. I walk up and I look up, and that's when I saw what you guys were seeing, and I was like, whew.
That's what I did too.
Fuck,
I
dude, that's
up,
what
and
you
it
guys
was
are seeing. Like,
up there, bro.
That's what y'all saw, and I'm like, man, I just saw it up there, and you had to be there to know like that magnitude of like how big he's gotten, and I'm like, fuck, that's crazy,
the dude
guys.
is huge. The dude is
That
a
shit
phenom.
is
Props
crazy.
to Gabriel for
Yeah.
the things that he's done. We started going international about 13 years ago. Yeah, almost 13 years ago now. And when we'd go to Norway, Sweden, and then eventually and then we started doing theaters out there, and then those grew to arenas. And I remember when people would hear he did an arena in Norway, and there's still some. When you're doing arenas across America, you need to understand that you've crossed over to a different demographic than brown people.
Yeah.
You know? And so when we'd come back and I'd hear big comics, big dudes, I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but they'd say dumb shit like, is there Mexicans out there? I didn't know there'd be that many Mexicans out there. And I just look at them like, it's not worth it. I can't unfuck you. If that's your headspace, I'm not even gonna engage this. You're just an ignorant fuck. You know, that's insulting. That's fucking insulting.
Right.
You know, to think that it's just a bunch of fucking Mexicans in Norway coming to see this man with 12,000 people. Like, are you out of your fucking mind? These are goddamn Vikings. You fuck.
Yeah, fuck.
You know.
Yeah. Fuck.
And so you know the which goes back to the short-sightedness of talking about King Taco in goddamn Japan, going to New York and seeing these East Coast that they don't know Mexican culture like we know Mexican culture out here. They have no fucking idea. So it makes your comedy grow. It makes you think like, okay, I need to write way more universally. I need to talk about things that are going to, you know, not everybody knows cumbia, but everybody knows therapy.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Right.
Worldwide.
That's
you
right.
know, so you know.
You give me that look. Yeah, he's been telling me that.
Like I've been saying this.
Maybe that dad a fucking bro. You nod when he says it. You motherfucker.
Yeah, that in the phone call, I'm just like, yeah. But the cumbia.
It's like my kid, dude. He just started playing Little League, and every time I tell him something, okay, Dad, and then the coach says it, I'm like,
I've been saying it.
Coach said I need to move my hands when I'm at bat. Did he say that?
Is that what he said?
Oh,
I've been saying
he
it.
said you got to step. Oh, he's smart.
Oh my god, yeah, dude, that's me.
Dude.
I don't learn until somebody else says it.
So you know, for everybody listening,
Yeah.
you can stream it HBO Max. You know, and go check it out. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. I do want to again like acknowledge how big that is, just for both of you, like teaming up and having like, you know, Latino comics have a reputation for not helping each other out.
That's true.
And you know, the fact that you guys are the new generation that are, hey man, here's my hand. This is the shit I know. Come up and make it better. Come up and do something with it. Take this and do something with it. I promise you. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to help you. I'm not trying to do you harm. You know, that's beautiful to see. That's beautiful to see, and it's about fucking time, to be honest.
Yeah,
you
man.
know, because everybody else does it. Everybody else does it. You know, the black community has done it. The freaking, you know, I remember years ago, I was at a club, and they're like, "Hey man, how come, you know, Gabe and George and this when Carlos was big? How come they're not? Dude, they could be doing, you know, arenas. They could be doing. This was years and years ago. They're like, you motherfuckers." You know, there's a black comic telling me, you motherfuckers are crazy.
We got it with the accent.
He goes,
Was that a Caucasian comic?
Yeah.
Y'all motherfuckers should be doing theaters. Was he Asian?
Was that Bobby Lee?
Y'all motherfuckers.
He goes, y'all motherfuckers. He goes, because black people, you know, we fight too. But when it comes down to money and we get an envelope, we're going to pull our shit together. You motherfuckers don't let it go no matter how much they're going to pay you. That's just stupid. And I was like,
yeah, man, we hard-headed.
you're 100% correct. You are the fact that you're seeing it, you know.
So, well, do you think that's going to change?
I think it has changed.
We're all changing.
It has changed.
The
I mean,
fact that
we're changing, but
the
like
fact that we're at this table.
But yeah, but it's like we're changing. But what about the bigger names? Like, do you think they're gonna change?
I think
they're faded, man. They're all.
That's just we're just gonna let them be.
It's like it's like let grandma be grandma.
That's what I think it's gonna be like.
Let grandma be grandma. Grandma, you can't tell grandma to be woke.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell her, hey, lady, 90-year-old lady, everything you've believed in your whole life is wrong. Let's accept the gays. Let's accept this. Let's accept. She's gonna tell you you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, just like I try to change like my dad now.
Good luck,
hey, you started. You know, you gotta let that go. Hey, compa, if you don't know my life, entonces, hey, there's things you don't know that you're never gonna know. I'm gonna, cuando me muera, I'm gonna hold it. I'm like, oh shit, I'm not gonna change this again.
Yeah, there's some fool. Like, look, I think that guys like Fluffy took out brown openers from day one. You know, to like people would be like, the fuck, man. Hey, you know what? Somebody has to. Like there's a lot of motherfuckers that would hate on that, but at the end of the day, hey, he did more. He was one of the first people to do more for, I think. And Carlos, you know, not a lot of people are on board with Carlos Mencia because, you know, the whatever drama he had, you know, right or wrong, he took brown people on the road.
Right.
You know, however people were like, oh, but he was such a this, he was such a that. You know what?
Yeah.
He gave them an opportunity.
Right.
And he did it the way that he knew how to do it. Look, things are different now. You know, people don't get away with the shit they got away with back in the day as far as being quote unquote toxic, right? But to his credit, he gave brown people a platform, brown people that have a career because of this man. You know, same thing with Gabe. You know, he's put food on a lot of brown people's tables. You know, you guys are working together. You know, Felipe is working with brown people, and he's taking Latinas out there, which is also something huge. You know, Gabe took Gina Brion on the road. You know, a lot of these, you know, Latina comics that would never have gotten an opportunity, and they're out there hustling on their own merit. By the way, but I think that it's changing. I don't think it's a matter of is it going to change. I think it is changing, and it's changed, and again, it's about fucking time.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
and you guys are changing it even to another level. You know, the fact that you're directing the homie and you're putting on different hats and still doing your thing and still running your shows and doing your material. Bro, you're fucking working your ass off, you know?
And still keeping in contact with Jesus.
Yeah, no, that's crazy too. Yeah, he's like
following
almost every
up.
day. I think every day he calls me. When I get the phone call, I know he's going to yell at me. He's disappointed about a backyard show I just did. 'Cause, you know, I'm trying to pay the bills, and he's just like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
Look at the fly. What's going on? Have I taught you nothing?" And I'm like, "Yo, Eric, like
These phone calls
I
about
just
to get
woke
disconnected, bro.
Yeah, I
if I
just woke
didn't make
up.
that fucking backyard
But
show.
I need that because he's right. Like he wakes me up, and I'm just like, man, like he makes me realize my worth, and it's like if I don't see it, I'm just gonna fuck this moment up. I gotta take advantage. You know what I mean? I gotta really like wake up and.
I think
bring
there's
something
more
to the
opportunity.
table.
Listen, I mean, you talk about, you know, the first Latino show that I have a recollection of were reruns of Chico and the Man. And it wasn't really a Latino show. It was one character, you know, Freddie Prinze. There was a show then after that called AKA Pablo with Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah, on NBC.
And it got canceled almost immediately. And then it took forever for Lopez to get his show.
That's right.
Once Lopez got his show, it kicked open the door. Whether you know, whatever happened, it did kick open the door. When streaming services showed up, and it wasn't just the major networks, then it became a matter of create it. If it's good, it'll find a home. It'll find a home. You know, nobody's giving us opportunity. No, make your own. Create it. If you create it, there's a platform for it. If it's good, people will watch it.
It'll live somewhere, yeah.
They'll watch it. Look, I remember East Los High. When East Los High first came on the radar, I saw it and I face-palmed. And I said, what did these monkeys do? I thought it was going to be like this cholo, over-the-top chingadera. When I looked at it, I was like, "Oh my God, this is well done. This is good writing. This is this."
Bro, my dad's the biggest East Los High fan of all time, bro.
Word, yeah.
He's on the fan blogs.
On the fan
Bro.
blog, yeah. He's got a fake profile just to defend him and say, "You watch your fucking mouth. Watch your mouth."
That storyline was great. How dare you?
I'm into tears writing this. That's how emotional that storyline was.
Put it this
Yeah,
way:
that's
him and fucking Rick Ramos had a watching party together.
Oh, of course they did. Dude.
Just them two,
Just to discuss
on the
it.
couch,
Oh, I could just
and they
see
were
it.
fucking loving every moment of it.
It was
that's
well
awesome.
done. It was
Yeah.
well done. I thought it was well done. And then, you know, you had, you know, a bunch of other shows that came around
On My Block on Netflix.
on my blog.
Good. Like, it wasn't pandering. It wasn't that
No.
forced. We're checking box. You're like, okay.
And then you had most recently Frankie Quinones
This fool.
and Chris Estrada.
Because Estrada, yeah.
This fool is probably one of the most well done Mexican American shows. And showing Latino culture, showcasing Latino culture as a whole in the neighborhood. These dudes fucking nailed it. That dude, and it's, you know, Frankie Quinones, I've known Frankie for many, many years, and I remember doing shows with Frankie in different places, like random ass places, where
Really?
we're at a random fucking place, and when his character Creeper Cholo Fit, finally hit. It took Frankie to a whole nother league, bro. It took him to a whole nother level. That character resonated. There were some cholos that were like, "That's not a real cholo," and blah blah blah. I was like, shut the fuck up.
I was like, yeah, he's not.
Shut
He's
the
a comic.
fuck up. Can you just see that
Yeah.
it's entertaining?
Mm-hmm.
I think that we choose some really weird battles as Mexicans.
Yeah.
Like there's some shit that's like, is this what you're gonna hate on? You fuck.
Yeah.
Is this like, look, everybody has opinions, everybody has this, everybody has that. There's people that run with that, and it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but with
It's
those
just
people,
an
you're just
express-
like, there's something deeper going on.
There's
with you.
people
You
that
gotta
like to
figure it out.
stir
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah,
for no reason. For no reason.
I know what you mean.
But
yeah.
but I will say that this fool hit the nail on the head, and it's entertaining.
Yeah,
it's
hell yeah.
entertaining, and it's well written.
Mm-hmm.
It's witty. It's clever. It's smart. It's not pandering. Or in my opinion, it's not pandering. I haven't seen the whole season. I've seen maybe like the first 5 episodes. Just like Dahmer, I've seen the first 5 episodes on Dahmer.
Gave up on that guy.
So you
No
didn't
way.
like it?
Boring.
Are you
Dahmer? I'm
kidding
talking
me?
about Dahmer. This was
Right, right,
amazing.
You gave up on Dahmer.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I get it, dude. And when they started going into his life, I'm like, he's a boring ass fool. I'm like, dude, it wasn't. He was too slow for me. He didn't.
Oh,
he
we
doesn't
get it. Your
interest
mom
me.
didn't love you.
Yeah.
Oh, you gave your dad. Oh, you have problems.
Dude, I just feel like
He needed therapy.
Yeah, dude.
La verdad, I just feel like he was so dumb and he got away with so much. I'm like, what the fuck? So I feel like that's the only thing I got from it. I was like, yo, that's how you see how racism is. Like, all these black people were warning the cops, like, hey, there's a killer next door, but because he was white, they let him get a little pass. That's the only thing I saw from it that I was like, oh yeah, that's fucked up. But other than that, it was like, he's dumb. How did these? By the way, these like, guys that he smashed or whatever, like. How did he not kick his ass? He's so scrawny, bro. Like
You would drug him, bro.
Bro, before there, I could sense a vibe, bro. I don't know about you. I could sense a vibe, and I'm like, esto quiere algo, güey. Like, even when I go, I can't, dog. No, you can't trick me.
I got great gaydar.
Yeah. Even with, like, some girls, when you after a show, you go to some girl's house.
I
and
love
they
that
got-
you're clarifying
they-
this. Hi, some girls.
But some girls, they got crystals and shit. And I'm like, I don't even trust them. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I brought my own weed. Like, relax. Like, I'm not smoking nothing. I'm not drinking anything you're giving me. Because, you know what I mean? Like, I don't, it's just, maybe it's my thing. I just don't, I can sense when something's off. But, like, if
well,
I
I'll
walked
tell you
in and
this
it
much.
reeked, something's off. Bitch, like, we're fucking in the car. We're not fucking in this, like, smell something. You know what I mean? And if he's being, I don't know, dude. I didn't buy, I was just, like, over it. I was like, yo, this guy's so
You know, it's
dumb.
a true story, dude.
I know it's a true story.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. It's a true story. It
Was it
happened.
believable? They didn't sell me,
Yeah.
bro.
No, you know what, dude? It was a boring murder. I'm like,
I want to watch every
Like,
movie.
Night-
His Titanic.
Night
Oh, come
Stalker
on! You
was
didn't
sick.
see the iceberg.
You see, Night Stalker
Fucking
was
huge ass ice rock
Right,
out
right,
there,
right,
bro.
Yo, Night Stalker was pretty dope though. Night Stalker was dope. But Dahmer, I don't know. I'm just kind of like
I
he's a
realized
snoozer.
bro, that shit made me realize from 1990 and beyond, it was easy as fuck to murder people, bro.
No,
get away
from
with
1990
anything.
before 1990.
No.
You
Yeah.
mean not 90 and beyond?
Yeah, 90 and
and before.
Before.
Yeah, you said 90 and, and
Yeah,
beyond.
well,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, yeah,
dude, because
before.
it's like no mama's way. There was no social media and stuff like that.
No
like,
cameras, no nothing.
Dude,
No,
even
nothing,
do you
dude.
remember when FX dropped that OJ series? And in the trial, they're like, "What's DNA?" I was like, "What?"
First time
Yeah,
DNA
yeah.
was
Oh,
used in a
you
trial.
could get away with anything.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
wasn't me.
It was
crazy.
cake, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
Yeah,
the Dahmer, I just started it. I'm on episode 5. G. Riley said, and G. Riley is a 60-year-old black man.
Okay.
You know, so he has seen.
So the next set
he
is gonna be
has seen-
wild.
He's seen some shit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
And he said to me, "That's white privilege if I ever saw it." And I go, "Motherfucker, man, now, Harlem in the 60s was a tough time. It was before civil rights, for crying out loud,
Right.
And so I'm like, this motherfucker talking about white privilege. You know what? And I thought he was exaggerating. You know, when I watched it, just the first 5 episodes, I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I hate using the term white privilege.
Right.
I think white people have been villainized to an extreme. The fact that these motherfuckers can't say their life matters is problematic for me.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. But if you're racist because you're saying that your life matters, that's a whole nother can of worms that I'm not going to open right now. But but I will, and I hate the term white privilege. But Jeffrey Dahmer is fucking white privilege on steroids. Yeah. In my opinion. Yeah. And when I see the shit that they let this man get away with, literally murder. And these are another what right now?
Yeah.
What really bothered me, what really set me off more than anything. You mentioned the
Richard.
Richard.
One Latino. I get it.
I get it.
I get it, man.
Yo, even the paisa would have smelled like, hey, ¿sabe qué? I have to go home because,
you can't make a Mexican taco out of motherfucker.
What's today? Sábado gigante. I can't do this today.
We can't even get murdered, bro.
Really
eaten by this dude.
So I saw the Richard Ramirez documentary. Okay. And they were interviewing the director, and they barely glimpsed at Richard's troubled past. He had a troubled past.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
And the director said, because people were like, hey, man, I wanted to know more about, how did this dude become how he became? He goes, no, we didn't want to touch on that because we felt it would take away from the victims and we'd be giving him an excuse for what he did. So we didn't even want to go there.
Ooh.
I heard this from this guy being interviewed.
Got his own series,
now,
huh?
Dahmer, you're telling me his mom was a drug addict, his dad was this, his this, his this. You're painting this troubled person.
I'm like, feeling for him. Yeah.
So Netflix, you don't have a problem with these victims fucking being, we're giving this guy an excuse for what he did. Why the brown guy? We can't hear about his troubled past. But so again, the white privilege with not just what he got away with and what they fucking what they just didn't pretended not to see and let him get away with. Not just that, but even in the aftermath of it, when they put the documentary on it, nobody's saying, fuck this guy. What he did was atrocious. We're not going to give him any kind of glory by explaining his trouble. No, they are fucking painting him as a troubled person.
Right.
That, to me, screamed white privilege.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing that that bothered me.
Also, how about the cops that didn't want to go into his apartment because they didn't want to catch gayness?
Yeah, bro.
And when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I feel you, dog. I was like, me too, dog. Fuck that. Yeah, I would have moved if I found out. Gay people, fuck.
Safe. You got to stay safe.
I'm playing. But yeah, no, you're right, dude. I guess when I saw Mindhunter and I saw how they become serial killers, I feel like that's what they were trying to do. And I was like, I've seen this already. You're too late. I saw this on Mindhunter. So that's what maybe I was already tuned out. But,
no, the dude, I mean, the neighborhood that he lived in was a predominantly low-income black neighborhood where the cops weren't going to come. Those 911 recordings.
Oh, real, huh?
Dude,
they were real.
When you're listening to what this lady, hey, this is a kid. Are you sure? Did you guys check his ID? Don't worry about it, man. We got it handled. Just shut the fuck up, lady.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Just shut the fuck up.
Bro.
Have you seen it, Eric?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it,
I want to know what the smell was like.
I just love that it's pork chops. I was like, all right.
Yeah. He's like, some meat got bad, and I'm like, stay out.
My favorite shit is how calm he is with his grandma. Hey, grandma. Fucking, I'm not too hungry, grandma. Fucking everything, grandma.
Until that mannequin got taken away, then you lost
that's
it.
A trip, dog.
You do it my mannequin. I was like, damn.
Nah, for just having a dead body around. Imagine that's crazy, huh? Sleeping next to the tub,
dude. It's horrible.
That's crazy. People just I don't know how you can get there,
bro. This guy's driving around with body parts in trash bags, drunk, gets pulled over, and they let him go, bro.
That's crazy, no?
What?
No, it was when he was drugged and fucked up, and then woke up to murdering that fool. He didn't even mean to do it,
Right.
That's
there
fucking
you
scary.
Go. He didn't mean
Gave
to
him
murder.
an excuse.
No,
He
there
didn't
you
mean
go,
to.
dude.
Even Hooter's giving him an
No,
out.
but like like when you wake up and you're like, "Fuck, what happened last night?" Like
Unprotected
imagine you
sex,
fucking.
I know what you're talking about.
Like
Yeah,
imagine you.
no condom. Damn.
Imagine the what did I do last night?
Yeah, that's a
was
crazy blackout.
murder.
Crazy blackout,
Well,
yeah.
there's a lot of people in jail because of those kind of blackouts where
Yeah,
it's like
but-
they blasted somebody or
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah, they're on
Listen,
PCP and they're like, well, I didn't know what kind of drug I did.
Before
That
I
was
turned
weed.
25, I'd been shot at and had guns pulled on me. And the last gun that got pulled on me was literally like right here, right?
Damn.
In my face. And I remember I was determined I'm buying a fucking gun tomorrow. This is bullshit.
Man.
I had made up my mind. I'm buying a goddamn gun. And I remember a friend of mine who, for some reason, his liver shut down. He's still drinking. He still does blow. He's older than me. But for some reason, he's been the voice of reason in my life many
crazy,
times.
That's
And
crazy.
at that moment, he said to me, he goes, "Hey, listen, man, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But motherfuckers like us have no business owning guns." He goes, "How many times have you woke up and said, 'How did I get home?'"
Haha, damn. Yeah, with your short fuse.
He goes, "How did I get home? What happened last night? He goes, "You black out." He goes, "I black out. I used to drink very heavily, especially when I was young." And he goes, he goes, "Unless you're going to stop drinking, you got no business buying a fucking gun."
Wow.
And he was 100% right. No matter how much I could justify, like I needed, like this is crazy, this is fucking bam, bam, bam. At that, I'll never argue logic. I'll never argue against logic. I'll argue a lot of shit. There's a lot of hills where I'm like, "Oh, fuck yourself. This is crazy talk." But if something is logical, I'm a pretty reasonable human being,
Right.
I think.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he made perfect sense that day. But the fuck did I say that? Why?
Because you
Because
said
that dude blacked out and
that
didn't
blacked
even
out.
Oh
know.
yeah,
Like when he looked around, I'm like,
no, yeah, and
but-
that's scary, man.
Yeah, good thing you don't have a gun. You forgot you even thought right now. You're like,
Yeah.
what happened? You got a gun, dude? You would have shot Hooter in the face right now. What you say? Like, what?
Is this shit
Jesus
loaded?
Christ. Yeah, you see,
So,
that cabrón, güey.
So I grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, no, dude, we can
Nice.
tell. I saw the way you walked in here with shirt tucked in. I'm like, this fucking guy.
I got,
Yo,
we grew up very different.
Yo, Eric gets excited
Yeah.
when his wife buys a new detergent. Like, yes, a new smell in this house.
Who said you walked in with your shirt tucked in?
Yeah, this motherfucker's buying pumpkin candles right now. Excited to use them.
No, dude, it's fall. It is pumpkin
He is
season.
excited for
It
this.
is
He's like,
spooky season,
Pumpkin
homie.
cider, my friend.
Yo, Eric woke up October 1st going like, you know what day it is? Pumpkin
latte day.
Yeah, there you go.
Eric looks like he just came from a pumpkin patch, bro.
Yes, dude.
Buddy.
Yes, dude.
You must smell my new candle.
Yeah,
that I got a
dude.
Yankee candle.
This fucking guy, dude.
Yankee Candle, not even Ross, bro.
Nah, come on.
Yeah, he's paying some money. He invested in some candles. You know what I mean? It's a good investment right there. Still out doing.
It's
Hell no, dude.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so what else do you got coming up? Are you doing more directing? Are you doing another special for yourself? What's Eric doing now? Because I mean, I know we've made it all about Jesus,
I
and
know, right,
rightly
let's talk
so.
about- yeah, yeah, yeah.
You've
Let's
got
talk
your
about Eric.
moment to shine. But what's next for you, bro? Because you got a lot of balls in the air.
You know, I'm still, definitely looking for the next opportunity to direct. I know I'm already talking to HBO to see who's on the list for the next special because I'd love to see, who I can help out and get them to, to the next level. Brownish every month. We're excited about the New York Comedy Festival. I'm in talks with different production companies. Hopefully we can create what Def Jam did for the Black community, for the Latino community. I'm out there pitching. I'm developing shows, hopefully getting some scripted. Because, again, it's good to see George getting a shot on NBC, Lopez versus Lopez coming out in November. But we need other, there should be other networks doing the same thing, giving us opportunities. So out there and hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see more than one Latino show
Jesus, plastic.
every 5 years.
Yeah, no,
Because that's been the turnaround rate. It's like every 5 years.
Yeah,
one.
when you talk network television, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like I said, on the streaming services, you do have more representation.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's still, and I don't want to be all like, but you still see the data where it's like, we're still lagging.
Oh, of
We're
course,
still
big time.
Like it's almost now to the point where it's like it's not even about underrepresentation. It's like we're kind of being excluded. Like, cause the numbers every year they're low, and they're still not giving us those opportunities. It's like,
Why do you think that is?
I think there's a lot of reasons. I think there's some gatekeeping at the top. You know, when you don't have Latinos in the executive chairs, they don't get what our stories are. Like, I've been in rooms where I pitch shows, and they're just like, we don't get what the plight of this main character is, and you're like, yeah, you're a Caucasian you're a millionaire, like you live in the hills, like, yeah, you're not gonna understand what this plight is, you know. You're also got, you know, there's a lot of us after a while we just give up because it's like, I don't need that.
And you know, I see the shows that do get greenlit, and they, you know, and I've mentioned this at Tedium. At the risk of sounding like a hater, I'm gonna say it again.
Say that shit.
Every fucking show has to save the goddamn restaurant.
The taco shop.
Say it,
man.
The
Taco shit, king.
The
we
taqueria,
gotta
bro.
save
Taco
the
shit, king.
taqueria. We gotta save the fucking
Grandma's
restaurant.
taqueria, bro.
East Los High did it. Gente Fight did it. Vida did it. Vida did the bar. It wasn't a taco shop, at least they did a bar.
Yeah.
But they still serve
But
tacos
they gotta
there.
save something.
Yeah.
Fucking Party of Five, save the restaurant. Taco shop, save the taqueria. Like, we're constantly saving these fucking restaurants.
Nobody has a fucking successful taqueria, bro.
Why do
For
they need the
fuck's
kids
sake.
to save it?
Well, because a lot of Latinos, you know, they own their own little businesses, so you know, I mean, that's what it is. But they need problems, so you got to give them. Well, how about if it's failing? And the white people are like, "There it is.
There it is.
That's
No,
You're
they
a
love
genius.
that.
Hey, what's this guy?
They
Jose?
gr- if you-
not you, don't get erased.
If you pitch a show where you got to save the goddamn taco shop, it will get greenlit.
Yeah. Well, I think we wrote. I think we're gonna switch some pages because. But you're right. Yeah.
You know, it's bananas,
Yeah.
bro. And you know, we're here. We're 4 brown people, okay. And I'm gonna bring this up for the 1000th time on the Yo Yo Yo
There we go.
podcast.
Say-
Here we are
say
fighting
your
the
shit.
good goddamn fight.
That's right. Say your shit.
Disneyland. You know, they're most.
When's the last time you guys went to Disney?
Before the pandemic.
Yeah. No, I was there last year.
Okay. The Pirates of the
Of course you were.
Caribbean
You were
have
excited
been
with your
politically
little-
correct. They took away the fat chick chasing the pirate with the chicken leg. They took away they made it.
Yeah, the pirate leader is the woman now.
Yeah.
She's like, come on, let's
Yeah.
go. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
A woman's voice.
Women's
What is
were
that?
getting raped by
No,
pirates.
yeah,
Let's be real.
Let's
here.
be real,
You
yeah.
know now, but Disney wants to be politically correct. You know they've got the Jungle Cruise. They fucking don't have the freaking savages up on the totem pole no more. They don't. You know there's a lot of shit that they switched on that.
Okay.
The Song of the South is no longer part of the Thunder Mountain. Now they've got the Black Princess from the Princess and the Frog. Is it the
Okay.
yeah.
The log ride.
The log, everything except the fucking enchanted tiki room,
Have you guys been in there?
No, what's in there?
bro.
I feel like Martin walked around with a clipboard, like, okay.
No, yeah. But it's a trip when you're on shrooms going to Disneyland. Like, wait
the
a minute.
enchanted tiki room is got all these birds. All right,
That's
And
where the Dole ice cream
it's
is.
with the Dole ice cream. Yeah, and you walk in, and the guy hosting, his name is what's his name, Jose or some shit like that, and it's this parrot, right? And then the tiki room and the tiki, and then he starts talking. Hello, mis amigos. I just woke up from a siesta. My siestas are getting shorter and shorter. Okay, now.
Wow.
It's a white dude from the fucking 50s doing this fucking voice
Oh, wait.
with this racist parrot
Yeah.
trying to sound Mexican.
Right.
Okay, now, why can we not clean up the fucking tiki room? Why is everybody else important except the fucking race? Cheech, let Cheech do the bird. Let Felipe Esparza do the bird.
Yeah.
Let Fluffy do the bird. I don't give a fuck if George Lopez gets another opportunity and does the fucking bird.
Right.
Anybody
gets a fucking-
but hello, my friends. Welcome to the tiki room.
Wow.
Oh, bro, that makes me cringe. And we're the only ones here at the Yo 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 fighting this
Hey,
fight.
what
Yeah,
about-
fine,
you know, it'd be
yeah.
hilarious if one of those fools got the opportunity to do it, but they used the same accent.
Yeah, dude. Come on, guys.
This is what Disney
There's
wants.
gotta be a worker there. I know the
worker. Even a worker.
I know the cleaning crew right now that's listening to this podcast and cleaning the fucking.
Bro.
You're right. I'm gonna talk to somebody here.
How in the your dad could do the goddamn
That's
bird,
right.
bro.
Yeah, dude.
You know, somebody
That
should do
goes on,
this
somebody.
bird.
Yeah, the parrot from Sonora, bro.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know, bro, it makes me cringe the fact that this bird. Gook, when you go home, just check out the Enchanted Tiki Room and listen to this fucking racist bird. The guy that did the joke is that did the voice was Walt Disney's favorite comic performer. They used to do shows at the theater there on Main Street, and this guy was big. He was like one of them vaudeville guys, and he was funny. He did his thing, and it was Walt's guy, so he gave him a lot of work. But they've never changed that. They can change everything else except for these fucking birds. These racist fucking birds. And that accent, bro.
It's like one of those
Yeah.
so over the top, like just
Over the top.
Right.
Chorter and chorter.
Shorter and shorter. Did you notice these things before, or is it because everybody's starting to like notice these things and speaking it out? Are you starting to be like, hey, you know what, you're right? Or
we started
but before
talking
when
about
you
this
would
about
go,
4 years ago.
yeah, because before you would go, did you even like?
It didn't.
you
No,
just
as a
like,
kid,
I
it didn't
guess,
register.
Right?
As a kid, it didn't register.
Yeah.
But then once they started being woke and changing everything else, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah, it forces
I
you to
get it.
pay attention to
then,
everything.
Okay, so why not this? The Mexicans are going to be the last ones
to
to get on fucked
change
at
shit,
Disney.
yeah.
You know, and we're not going to say shit. We're just going to be, hey, we're happy in the happiest place on earth. Vámonos a Disneylandia.
They have churros. We're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
We're good.
We're
They
good.
got churros.
That's true. That's true.
They got stuffed churros, bro.
They're walking around. These
Yeah.
churros are getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, dude.
They're getting-
Shorter and shorter.
Yeah, bro.
It's hard for us to like,
dude.
I think it's hard for us to like get people on board and fight because we're too busy working.
But we
We're
are
too
fighting. We're fighting. We're fighting James Franco playing Fidel Castro.
That was a trip. I can't believe that was approved. That was crazy.
happened.
Okay,
Like,
look.
you would think-
At the end of the day, here's the thing.
Yeah, here we go.
We're acting.
Mm.
We're acting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're pretending to be this. We had a Puerto Rican play Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Latino, but still a Puerto Rican. Okay? We had a Filipino play probably the greatest Mexican-American singer of all time, which was Richie Valens in La Bamba. Homeboy, Lou Diamond Phillips was Filipino. Playing.
Word?
You didn't know he was Filipino?
No, you just crushed my dreams right now, dude.
Yo, bro, you know how many Mexicans he played, dude?
He played a
bunch.
shit ton.
The
Shit
most
ton.
iconic ones, dude.
And there was a ton of Mexican actors. Okay?
He was my
now,
favorite cholo in Send and Deliver, dude.
there
God
you go.
damn it.
Filipino.
Damn.
Filipino. You know, and you know, we've you know, you've had, you know,
Al Pacino played Cuban, Puerto
Al
Rican.
Pacino played a Cuban, one of
That's
the biggest.
crazy.
You got Scarface. You know, you've got, dude, Al Pacino played a Cuban, bro.
That's crazy.
You know, so and now there are some actors that have nailed these roles, as Robin Williams in The Birdcage was
Oh,
a phenomenal
Yeah, he was great.
gay
dude.
guy.
Yeah, he was great.
In 2022, you're not gonna get a straight guy to play a gay guy. It's not gonna fucking
We
happen.
got the
Yeah,
dude
he
from
know
Modern
that.
Family. The big guy. He was...
How long ago
He's
was
not gay
that
for
show?
real?
No, the big guy? No, he's straight.
Straight?
He got a wife and kid.
How,
yeah.
how,
Oh, he
how old
fucking-
is that show though?
That show just ended a year
no,
or two
but
ago.
when did it start?
Oh, it ran for like 9-10 years.
Yeah, when I was
At least
yeah,
10.
like
Yeah.
2000
Maybe even
and-
longer than 10.
It doesn't in 2006, 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a different climate because now he wouldn't get cast.
Yeah.
No way. And I think that we're missing the boat because now is it the most qualified or he has to be like, we're trying to be so like, people are pissed because the Little Mermaid's going to be black. People are pissed. They don't want to see a black Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid is in Denmark. She's in Denmark. Okay. People are pissed.
going for it.
People are pissed because Lizzo played the flute.
I know my man.
Right?
Lizzo play the flute?
Yeah, she
I
played a
can't
flute that
take that
belonged
shit.
to Madison, right?
Oh, all
Or
right.
some shit like that.
Lizzo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, she's a bopo, bro. You leave her alone.
I got beef with
Yeah.
fucking Lizzo.
Who do you got beef with Lizzo?
Yeah, you know. Ever since she put her bare ass on the Lakers seats, I was kind of...
That's it for you?
Oh,
yeah.
damn.
Yeah,
Dang.
dude. I got beef with Lizzo too, man. I don't know, dude. I feel
What's
like
your
it's too
beef?
much. I got beef. I got beef with Lizzo.
Fuck your beef.
Yeah, I wish you would be my fucking beef, dude.
No,
Nah.
I'm just so yeah. Can we get the birds fixed, Disneyland? For
That's
the
all we want.
fucking
That's all we
1000th
want.
time. So
Derek
that's
was
a
in a
battle
big
I
hole.
wish people would take. You know, I would love to see, because I mean, look, George and John spoke out very passionately about Franco playing Fidel Castro.
So what do we do there? Not watch the movie?
You know,
Boycott the movie?
first of all, I think that James Franco would have played a great Castro. Personally,
Yeah. That's
Oh,
the
they
thing.
yanked
Hey,
him?
that's the thing. We do all this shit.
I don't
talking
know
like-
if they yanked him.
Well, actually,
I don't know
he
if they
was
yanked
really
him.
good, yeah.
Did they yank him?
Nah, I don't think they did.
I don't think they did.
I don't think they did. I don't think they yanked them. But again, are we at the point now where you have to be this ethnicity to play this ethnicity? I do agree that
Why not?
representation matters,
Yeah.
but again, I don't know. Do you have to be gay to play the gay character now?
I mean,
Well,
if
I
a
think
straight dude could play a better gay dude than a gay dude,
I
then
don't
I want
know.
to see the straight dude.
But I don't know, because I feel like there are a lot of gay actors that would give them
Kill
a
it.
chance. They look all over the place. Like, there's a lot of gay actors everywhere, all over the world, who can
For
probably
sure.
kill it.
For sure,
You know what I mean?
but they'd also play a great straight person. You can't pigeonhole them into playing gay roles just because they're gay.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one, massive.
So now what? You're only gonna play.
Yeah,
So
you
now,
got me.
now
I'm
you're
over
only
here
gonna
like,
get straight people to
oh.
play straight people.
You're right.
I mean, it
You're
becomes
right.
problematic in a lot of ways, especially
now
in
you
the
got
world of make believe. Again, the Little Mermaid's a fictional character, and people are pissed.
Yeah.
Oh, she can't be this, or they. Motherfucker, what are you talking about? There's no mermaids.
Right.
Why are you angry here?
I think it's because it's such an iconic look that people just got thrown off. It was like a what, you know?
Yo, my dad believes
Shock
in the
people.
fucking potion he had earlier, but not mermaids.
I did not the fucking
Hilarious.
Don't you bring that witchcraft in here? We're talking about mermaids. That's witchcraft. Look at it. Look at her.
All right, we're gonna start wrapping it up, but
Dude, that's so funny, dude.
I appreciate these conversations. I really do. I think they're needed, and I think that there is no right or wrong. I think that it is a constant evolution, just like life. It's a constant evolution. To say that it has to be this or it has to be that or a huevo, it has to be this. There's different lanes, man.
Right.
There's different lanes. And I do agree with you, Eric, that there is not a whole lot of representation. We're underrepresented. There's almost exclusion, and that is fucked up.
Yep.
And the only thing that's going to change that is people like you, people like Jesus, people like Hooter, that can go out there and say, "All right, this is what I created. Let's go." Props to Chris Estrada for writing this fool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He created something that they could sink their teeth into,
Yeah.
and they said, you know, boom, Islo's high.
Hey, wait.
Back to
going
Islo's High.
Back to Islo's High.
You
Don't
know-
you-
bro.
Check
Let's
out my
go.
blog.
Do
Yeah,
you
check it out.
know? Did you know that they had all of season 1 in the can, and they tried to pitch it to a shit ton of networks and streaming services and cable stations, and they all said no.
No thanks.
They all said no thanks, and they were pitching it for a bargain price, and
Wow.
nobody believed in it. A lot of people passed on it. I personally know people that passed on it, that said
Wow.
no, that they were in positions of power
They're gonna
and
kick
said
over.
no,
Yeah.
and they kicked themselves in the ass later because of the huge success. It became the flagship show for Hulu. It became the most watched show at the time. Nothing on Hulu had more eyeballs than that show.
Wow.
So which shows you that if you make it and you create it and it's good, they can't help. It can't help but rise to the top. It will rise to the top. It just has to be done. It just has to be created. You just have to, Joe Coy was just, he's been mentioning how his first special, Netflix didn't want it.
That's
He
right, he
paid
shot
for it.
himself,
He
yeah.
produced it. Even when the cameras were on, they're like, nah, we don't fucking want it. And then once it was all done, and then he took it, then they gave him a multi-special deal. So until we believe in ourselves to the point where we're ready to put our money where our mouth is to produce something, it's not going to happen. It's not going to fucking happen.
So write your pages.
Yes. Write my pages. That's right. That's right.
No, but I agree with you. Like we gotta stop thinking that we have to wait for that magical phone call. We have to start believing we're worth it. And right, that's what Chris did. That's what, Jesus is doing now. Like, that's what I'm doing. Like, we got to create those opportunities. Like, a lot of times we just sit back and like, they're going to call. They're not going to call.
Nobody's calling.
They're not calling.
Nobody's
They're not
calling.
calling.
Nobody's calling.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking for this. Nobody's looking for no. Do you know when they call? When you have 1 million goddamn followers.
Yeah.
You got 1 million freaking followers on social media, then you get the phone call because they know that they can make some goddamn money.
That's right. Yeah.
If they can't make no money on you, they're not getting no calls. Or you create something that is going to create that for them. If you can make somebody money, they don't give a fuck what color you
Yeah, that's
are.
what it is. It's business. If they know
It's
this is
business.
gonna make us money, they'll jump on it. But
Yeah.
they will. We're not in those times now where like we're gonna help you grow into something.
No.
They're not gonna. They don't want to invest time. They got people that they can just give them a show and they're bringing in numbers.
For sure.
So
100%.
yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to plug before we get out of here? Or your social media? Jesus?
Just the social media. It's Sue's she's the comedian, and I look up for my dates. I'm gonna be in Bellflower soon at the stand up.
I like that club.
It's nice, right?
Love that
Intimate.
club.
Yeah, so come down for that one, man.
Your
Please come
podcast,
down.
bro.
Oh yeah, my podcast with the
Worst promoter
fellas.
right here. You see this?
American Wannabes podcast. We got a lot of people from Yo from last night. So American Wannabes podcast, and then my Time Flies with just me by myself. I tell my childhood stories and stuff like that, and I vent. That's my therapy, dude. I just like let it all out. So yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
About time.
You know,
I was waiting to see if you
yeah,
were done because
yeah.
you
No,
started
you're looking at
rapping
me,
and then
dude.
Hooter was like, "Hey, don't forget your
All
podcast."
right.
And you're like, "Oh yeah."
We're relaxing. You'll get enough rest to get to a Pumpkin Patch tomorrow. Relax. Dude. Take it
Go
easy.
check out Jesus' special, Mr. Tough Life, on HBO Max. When you're done with that, I've got mine still streaming up there. Super White. Check it out. Follow me on social media, Erik Rivera Comedy, ERIK Rivera. If you can't spell that, I can't help you. It's 2022. Come on.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the both of you.
Thanks for
Keep
having
on
us on,
grinding,
man.
keep on
Yeah.
hitting it. Lots of respect to the both of you because
Thank you.
again, you're showing people, hey man, and the dude Edwin Licona to put everybody together the way he's putting everybody together and making that shit happen, bro. More of that shit needs to
Hell
happen.
yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so
man.
congratulations to you guys.
Thanks, man.
Go check out Brownish at the Laugh Factory. Great show. Always a good lineup. And thank you guys for tuning in to the Yo podcast. Everybody that's on the Patreon, lots of love to you, cabrones. We appreciate each and every one of you. You mean a lot to us. Everybody that listens that you're not on the Patreon, we love you fuckers too. Stay blessed.
Watch
Happy
yourselves high.
spooky season.
Spooky season. There
Don't
you
upset
go.
Martin.
Yeah.
Go change that. Go fight that parrot at Disneyland.
Please sign the petition.
Man.
Sign the petition.
Shit. Peace.
All right, peace.
Just a little